Good morning. This is Dilip Thakore, editor of EducationWorld.
Good morning, Summiya Yasmeen here, managing editor.
Well, in the June issue, we have gone perhaps where no magazine's gone before. In that, we have collaborated with the World University of Design to write our cover story, which is titled, Can India Rediscover Its Fine Design and Aesthetics Heritage?
Yes, it's lost heritage. I mean, the country which built the Taj Mahal, the famous temples of Kanha, Khajuraho, palaces and temples of Hampi. How have we lost our design tradition?
Now, if you look around, our roads, bridges, etc., they're not aesthetically pleasing. They're utilitarian, and they're not even robust. They collapse at the slightest sign. So, what's gone wrong? So, it's all very well for us to write our views, but this time we've pulled in the World University of Design.
Yes.
And particularly its
Vice Chancellor, founder Vice Chancellor, Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
Yes, he's an IIT Kharagpur man, and also went to Fashion Institute of New York, and so with a highly commendable background in design. So together we've written this story. I mean, the story is mainly his, but to prevent it from becoming another academic journal kind of story, I put in my 2 bits worth. So here it is, the June issue of EducationWorld.
Yes, but as usual, before we tell you more about our cover story, let's tell you what we've got in some of our other sections, Dilip.
We have ventured out to do these stories in collaboration with the best universities in the country, because we feel that the gap between industry and society and academia needs to be bridged. Academic institutions tend to be like ivory towers, doing their own things, and they're not writing for the general public, and perhaps not even for industry.
Yes.
So earlier this year, together with Jindal Global University, we did a story in our March issue called On the Legal System, Saving India's Collapsing Justice System.
Yes.
And in which we discussed ways and means, to rectify our horrible our horrible justice system, the backlog of 50 million cases and counting. So how do we needed expert people to write that story.
Yes.
Similarly, here we have lost our design heritage. We have lost our design traditions, whether it's textiles, infrastructure, goods, services. They're not what they used to be and what they can be. And when we look around Southeast Asia and other countries like Japan, how beautiful their products are. And so what we advanced in this issue is that, maybe we'll talk about that later.
Okay, so Dilip, this time we've got some very interesting essays, informative, features in the magazine in our June issue. Our editorials, as usual, very hard-hitting. Our first editorial is on what's the big message of the assembly elections.
Yes.
Yes, in which we say that, the electorate this year who voted in these 4 assembly elections of these 4 states, most of them were born post-liberalization,
Yes.
post-1991.
And I think what we conclude is that they are fed up with the old politics of caste and religion.
Yes.
And so on. And therefore they voted an amazing government in Tamil Nadu and thrown out the communists out of Kerala. West Bengal also.
Yes. So they voted for change. They want to see something, new.
As we say in our concluding statement here, the young voters are impatient and they want a new grammar of politics.
Yes.
And then we've talked also about the
our second editorial is on the latest Niti Aayog report on school education in India, where we've got official confirmation of how
criminal neglect of the school
school education system. It confirms what several surveys have been saying before, that India's school education system, especially its government schools, are in bad shape. 7% of India's 1 million government schools are still single teacher schools. Half of them, almost 50% of them, still don't offer any internet or
yes.
computer facilities. And we're talking about racing into the AI, age.
Yes. I mean, it's ridiculous to think that the children who have been denied all this throughout their schooling are later going to go to university and come out with great innovations. So it's official confirmation of criminal neglect.
Yes. And education news, as usual, we've got you covered about what's happening in different major states, major education happenings. So Delhi, of course, the big NEET cancellation because of the paper leak, and now re-exam. We give you the inside story of the paper leak, and we also present some solutions there.
Yes. And then we also we found out that the epicenter of the NEET
paper leak scam,
yes,
is in Maharashtra.
Yeah. And so we got a report from our Maharashtra correspondent, Dipti Joshi.
A fallback of the NET exam cancellation is that a lot of students are uncertain about their future. So from Tamil Nadu, we've got an interesting story where the new government, led by actor turned politician Vijay, has started admissions for paramedical courses earlier than usual.
Yes, and there's a surge of interest in paramedical courses.
Yes,
because the number of medical colleges in India is so small that very few people can actually find seats in those colleges.
Yes, and from West Bengal, of course, the earth-shattering election result where a 3-term Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee has been thrown out, and the new BJP government under Subhendu Adhikari has taken charge. And here, Dilip, we analyze and tell our audience that one of the major reasons was failure and neglect of education.
Neglect and allowing a large number of scandals in the education sector.
The TET scams.
Yes.
Yes. And Andhra Pradesh, a very uplifting, inspiring story,
yes.
Offering some, respite from scams and scandals, where we talk about, how the Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu is all set to turn Vizag into India's new IT and education hub.
Yes, yes, indeed.
Yeah.
But we warn that the school education system in Andhra Pradesh is very weak, and that all these big projects, they require well-educated people with good foundations to run these. So we warn that please pay attention to school education.
Yes. And from Karnataka, we have written a story on the student protests.
Yes, in the National Law
School of India University, India's top-ranked law university. These students, surprisingly, were protesting poor living conditions in their hostel, irregular water supply, poor sanitation,
yes.
and also gender discrimination in the allotment of hostel rooms against women.
Yes.
So quite shocking revelations
yes.
there, Dilip.
Yes, but we come to the conclusion that, you can't get world quality education unless you're ready to pay higher fees.
Yeah.
Many of these people graduate and get very, very high starting salaries, and they're unwilling to take loans to pay higher fees, which they should. And all over the world, I mean, it's proven that if you don't pay high fees, you are not going to get very good education.
So education notes and education briefs, again, very interesting. Yes, from around the country.
Some amazing young achievers, including a 3-year-old boy who can recite the entire verses from the Mahabharata and Ramayana.
Yes, quite extraordinary there.
Yes.
And a very interesting essay.
Related perhaps to our cover story.
Yeah.
That, that design is very important to get good learning outcomes in schools.
Yes.
And so well-argued article. Many school campuses are struggling with overcrowding, rising costs, and rigid spaces that don't support pedagogy. What seems to be an academic challenge is often at its core architecture.
Yes.
So you need well-designed schools.
Yeah.
Then a feature on the
Yes.
Sadbhavna World School,
Yeah. School of Eminence feature. Yeah. Yeah.
which is several very detailed, and by all means, by every standard, certainly a world-class school established in Koi Code.
Yes.
It's Kerala's #1 co-ed boarding school.
Yes, indeed.
No,
It's
day
a day.
school.
It's
Day
a
school.
it's a day come boarding
Day
school.
come boarding school.
Yeah. And now moving to our cover story, like Dilip said before, this is a never before done story in collaboration with the World University of Design and its founder, Vice Chancellor, the erudite and learned Dr. Sanjay Gupta, where we examine why India has lost its craftsmanship and design leadership. And beyond the why, we also offer solutions to say what must be done to reclaim
Yes.
this lost leadership, design leadership.
If you see our manufacturers, the classic instance of the iPhone designed by Steve Jobs, it's not only a very functionally product, but it's very beautifully designed. And if you see also Japanese products, small household products also, they're very beautifully designed. In India, it's not that we don't have a design tradition, but our traditional craftsmen and others, as pointed out in this article, are left out of factories and so on, and they don't. They are peripheral to our goods and services production. So they need to be integrated, is argued throughout this article,
Yeah.
throughout this feature.
Yes. And Dilip, I mean, you and Sanjay have made I think, a very brilliant observation about how the root cause of the neglect of India's Asian design tradition, crafts traditions, is perhaps rooted in our neglect of education.
Exactly.
I mean, as children who who study in ramshackle schools and poor, outdated curriculums are not sufficiently equipped to understand and to appreciate India's rich traditions of
Neither
design.
are they accustomed to aesthetics because the schools are so badly designed, they're all ramshackle, as you say. And schools in every village should be wonderful, beautiful buildings, lot of
green spaces.
Green spaces, and they should have all the facilities, the infrastructure, so that from a young age, children become used to seeing beautiful things, beautiful infrastructure. Then only will they demand or even develop good design culture.
Yes. And I love the box you've written, Dilip, shows socialist leveling down, where you've spoken about India's obsession with PWD built, styled, just blocks, crammed blocks of buildings.
And, yes. And not at all, no attention is paid to how they look, how they, what statement they make, are they culturally attuned. That socialism and that leveling down culture has ruined our ancient traditions and heritage of fine buildings, fine muslins, fine designs, which 200 years ago had created stampedes in Europe. Beautiful goods going out from India.
Yeah.
Today, nobody cares for Indian products, including Indians.
Yeah, it's a very thought-provoking story. Please read it. Share your suggestions, feedback. This is a debate which must move forward.
Yes. Indeed. Yes. Very good observation. Yes. We must reclaim our design heritage of the old days.
And international news as usual. We are featuring this international news section after perhaps 2-3 issues, but very interesting stories. We've got a story from around the world, a story from China, how China is, one of the stories is, like I said, from China, how rising international enrollments are changing during COVID.
So many people from around the world are now signing up for Chinese universities.
Yeah, and a lot of them for STEM courses.
Yes.
And then
Then
we have
from
a
the
interesting,
Nordic region.
Yes, Nordic
They're
region.
going back to books and pens,
They're abandoning
laptops and digital.
Yeah, in classrooms.
Yes.
And quite a sad story from Iran about how universities have become war targets.
Yes.
And many of them have been badly damaged by the war. So
Yes.
it's a very interesting section, highly recommended for Indian educators. It gives you an insight and a window into what's happening in the education world outside our country.
Yes. In fact, there's hardly any news on education from beyond our borders in any of the mainstream newspapers.
Yes.
We have no idea what's happening in other countries and what the great leaps and advancements that are being made in education around the world.
Yeah.
Whereas we are in education is still a peripheral subject in India.
And Teacher to Teacher, written by a well-known educator, Fatima Agarkar, I think on a very important subject, how teachers need to, rewire and re-equip themselves to teach in a changing VUCA world.
VUCA being
volatile, uncertain, complex,
and
ambiguous.
Yes.
And I think one of the best features in this June issue is our eyewitness report.
Yes, where our Hyderabad-based correspondent Priyanka
traveled all the way deep into Andhra Pradesh to Nellore to visit the absolutely path-breaking, remarkable school called the Nanda Gokulam Life School, started by Mr. Chinta Shashidhar, who is a phenomenal entrepreneur and the chairman of the Vishwa Samudra Group Holdings, which is into maritime, ports, infrastructure, etc. So he has started this philanthropic initiative, the Nanda Gokulam Life School, entirely free school
with excellent infrastructure.
Yes.
And for boys boarding school,
fully residential school.
Yes.
And within, it's just barely a year old, and some remarkable results. How children have improved their learning outcomes,
and how fast Indian children
English
learn,
fluency, etc.
Yes, but the important lesson to take away from this, how fast India's children learn, given good backing, infrastructure, facilities, etc.
Yes.
So it's an eye-opener indeed.
Yeah. And in our special report, we've printed, Dilip, the Education World Grand Jury India Higher Education Rankings, which we concluded in May. So top 10 universities, colleges who applied for these awards and these rankings are
and
listed
who are
here.
nominated, either self-nominated or nominated by others.
Third parties.
Yes.
So here we've got different, very interesting categories.
These are our jury ranking, which is different from our other rankings, which are based on public perception.
Yes, indeed.
And it's quite remarkable, and we've deliberately ranked only low-profile kind of universities who don't advertise, who hardly come into the public eye.
Those who apply and nominate themselves.
Yes. And it's quite remarkable how pleased they are with some recognition of what they are doing out in the hinterland and the backyards of India.
Correct.
And such enthusiasm for recognition. So we are very pleased to present this, and I think there's a lot of potential in these kind of this kind of institutions who are doing unsung, very good job in the hinterlands of India.
Yes. And our books page, again, very interesting. We've got a book review on a new book called A Guardian and a Thief, which is all about,
Megha Majumdar was a well-known novelist.
It's about people, struggling to live in a climate change ravaged world, set in Kolkata.
Yes.
Quite like I said, interesting. And we have quite an insightful interview with Professor Amit Chakma, who is the
Vice Chancellor
of the University of Western Australia, which is all set to inaugurate 2 campuses in India, in Mumbai and in Chennai.
Yes.
So very insightful interview from him.
I think we should reiterate that Professor Chakma is Vice Chancellor based in Australia.
Yes.
Bangladesh born and alumnus of the Algerian Petroleum Institute and University of British Columbia. Bangladesh born Professor Amit Chakma. Interesting interview.
Yes. And postscript?
Where we rejoice about the wipeout of the communist parties in
West Bengal and Kerala.
and Kerala. And quite an interesting story on Mr. Siddharth Vardarajan, who is a very severe critic and a left-wing, very intelligent critic, we must add, but who loves his US citizenship. He loves his citizenship of the great Satan, which is somewhat. And then
contradictory.
yes, and then another one on the intention of the union government to nationalize the Delhi Golf Club and the attack on private golf clubs private clubs around the country. Well, we think they are quite. I've disclosed here that I'm a member of 2 clubs, but I believe they serve a useful purpose.
Yes, so that's the June issue of Education World. Like I said before, we invite you to read it. We invite your feedback, both positive and negative. The most important thing is that we need to debate these issues more than we are doing right now.
Yes,
Yeah?
yes, there's hardly any debate.
Yes, and before we go, in Parents World, we've got quite a timely cover story. The new academic year has just begun in June, and we give some very useful advice to parents on how to get their children off to a good start in the new academic year.
Yes, and other interesting stories here, including protecting children from air pollution.
Yes.
And how to manage digital screens. Well, that's it. Thank you very much.